All right, so let's talk about ShowAnalytics. We have been looking at for a while, and the birth of ShowAnalytics happened because the output of these analytics, the SQL queries, you see the output is in like JSON format, like it's not tabular, the values are cumulative. So after a while, it's really for an advanced user. Not everybody's going to use it. So we wanted to simplify it. So we came up with this. So obviously it could have been any other show command, right? But we didn't do it because we're trying to do something new. We wanted to empower people. And we said that we're going to implement this in Python, and we'll let the whole world to use it the way they want. We let them change it the way they want, right? So essentially, if you compare, where are my slides? Am I missing, or am I directly jumping to the use cases? Oh, no, okay. So before we go into detail, I mean, some of the use cases that you can see of ShowAnalytics is let's just go to the switch. You do ShowAnalytics and you can obviously do help. You see that this doesn't look like a typical NXOS command. Typical NXOS command starts with show and we do question mark. We don't do that with ShowAnalytics. Why? Because it's a Python utility. And you want to check that, you type ShowAnalytics and hit your tab key. Like I'm going to hit tab here. Standard NXOS function, right? And it changes to something like this. Actually, we're using the on-switch Python interpreter to run this utility, which is written in Python. And by the way, we'll go into a few more details of that, but what can you do with it? Let's see. I mean, you go help and you execute this. So something like you can do info and then you can do target. So let's just do info. Let's see what it shows me. Okay. It says, yeah, I need more details. So I can do target ITL. Oh, it's going to be a lot of data here. Yeah, I messed up. I never do that. Okay. So always use limit maybe 5. And I get my vSAN, my initiator ID, my target ID, my LUN ID, IOPS, throughput, ECT. Okay. Now, what I can do, one of the cool things, somebody asked it yesterday, is alias. You want to see that? Like, because this initiator ID doesn't make sense to me, right? I want to see the alias. I want to see the device alias for that. So I just need to throw that, and I mean, I'm running out of like what screen space here. Yeah, I should probably change it, but you get an idea, right? These are the device aliases of initiator and the target. I have a better output right here in the slides. Yeah, like this. Okay, so you have your initiator device alias and your target device aliases on the right. What else can we do with that? Get specific for an initiator, target ID, and LUN. So instead of limiting it, I can say initiator and pick my initiator from here, and then target, pick my target from here, and then LUN, pick my LUN from here. This is for low-level real-time troubleshooting, and you go here and it dumps you more metrics about that particular ITL flow. See this, what does it say? It's accumulated average. Now you guys know what is accumulated average means, right? Since the beginning of the time. The 4-second average number, now you understand where the 4 second is coming from, because this is what the NPU uses to divide the total number by, okay? I think where it gets really interesting is using the top options. So ShowAnalytics, and you can use top option with it. And then let it run. You want to see something very interesting. Now, this is the only way you can see your ECT here. By the way, by default, it shows the IOPS. And notice that the output changes on its own. There are top 10 ITL flows on the switch with the most IOPS. With single command, I get to see that, and not just I get to see it, it's changing on its own, right? Just like the Linux stop command. I can break it, and then I can do key and then ECT. This is the only way on the switch to see live ECT. Remember, ECT requires a lot of math. Uh, uh, Also, let me run this again. Notice that it takes a while to start this command. What it's doing? Take a guess. What it's doing? Because just by reading one value, you don't know what changed. So it actually reads once, then it waits for a couple of seconds, then it reads twice, second time, then it takes a time difference, and then it shows you. So that's why it's like just sitting idle for a couple of seconds there. And every time you see that timestamp changed from 17 to 21, 21 to 25, and these are live values that are instantly happening right now. Now, I'll also mention this. Some of the times, sometimes I think we should increase this number. Like I have done it and tried it, it works better. Instead of this 4-second increment, we should move it to 10 seconds because sometimes it just reports 0 here. And you know why it reports 0? Because those values didn't change. They read by the time you're reading those queries, there's a lot of delay in between. So we should make it like a bit longer and make it happen like that. But without getting lost in the details, this is how you would look at live ECT of your flows, the top 10 slowest ports, I would say. Somebody says, show me the slowest ports on your switch. One command, you get the answer right here. Okay, and I think by default, we support 3 options, which is ECT, IOPS is default, and then key can be throughput, right? So if somebody says, show me the flows that are consuming the most on the switches, these are my flows, right? So you see that with their megabytes per second values of read traffic and write traffic. I want to show you something. I'm just wondering. You see this 152 is higher than 192. And see that, right? Like it doesn't make sense, right? 192 should be higher than 152. Who wants to take a guess? The reason is this. When we sort, you see that there's both read and write. So actually we do top on what? Is it read or write? The logic actually takes the sum of read and write and then sorts it. So sometimes it's possible that the lower value shows up higher than the other value. So essentially what's happening is that the sum of these two is higher than the sum of these two. And because we have rounded it till the first decimal, we don't see what's next, right? So this is the reason. It may happen. If you guys want to change it, I'll talk about that in the next few minutes. You can change it if you want to. Okay, that was about using ShowAnalytics, but you can change it. And I think this is where it gets really powerful. I was talking about it, that this is actually written in Python, right? And there are some pros and cons. I've talked about this, that how long. So Ed, recently you worked with engineering to change the output of show interface counters detail. Let me show it to the team if people haven't looked at that. Show interface brief and show interface FC1/50 counters detailed. Not sure if everybody realizes this is not the way we used to display it before. Ed, how long did it take for you to do it, for you to make it happen? 6 months?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it was
a year?
It didn't take that long. Everyone agreed that the existing, if you just get rid of the counters or get rid of the detailed option, you'll see what it kind of looked like before, sort of. It was kind of a jumbled mess of counters that was very difficult to parse.
Yeah, but overall idea is that for a customer, if they're running, let's say 811 code, And they think that, hey, you know what, I want to make it look like this. They're going to make a feature request to Cisco. Cisco may or may not accept it. And then we may accept it in next release. We ship it. And by the way, it's going to take a couple of years for a customer to upgrade to the next version.
Yeah.
Right?
It
That's the
takes
whole
months,
cycle.
months or years to get an
Months
update.
or years. ShowAnalytics, you can change it as fast as you can change its code. It's written in Python. So if somebody's an expert, it's going to take a minutes to change it. Somebody is not an expert, like it's going to take hours to change it. Maybe a day, maybe 2 days. Never years, never months. That's the idea.
Yeah, and I'll give you an example. Dash help, you'll see the errors only option in it. And I was on the phone with a customer, one of our most active customers, and he was doing the dash errors option, which was giving him all ITLs, including ones that had an errors count of 0. And he said, well, that's nice. He goes, but I just want to see the ones that have actual non-zero error counters. And I said, oh, okay. So give me an hour or so. So I took the script and I copied it over to my local system and I modified it, added a new dash errors only option. And I sent it back to him and I said, is that what you had in mind? And he goes, that's exactly what I had in mind. And then I got it built into the product. But you can add new options or do whatever you want to do in the script. Press will show you how to get access to the code, and then you can just go away. It's just Python, so it's pretty intuitive.
You see that? And that's a live case study, right? And let me show you how to do it. So essentially, when you do ShowAnalytics, when you hit tab, you see the script is in sys directory. Now you can't access that directory, so there's a command for that, which is source copy sys or source copy sys command. Okay, now before that, I don't want to be coming as if I'm trying to do something different here. So directory for boot flash, there's a scripts directory here. There's a bunch of files here, right? So delete boot flash scripts. Right, so nothing is here. And then I do source copy sys. So this command copies all the scripts from the sys directory to the boot flash. This is a safeguard mechanism, right? Because we don't want our customers to change what we are shipping them. That's risky. So now I can access my analytics.py script, and then I'm going to change it. So let me find a server on which I can change it. Maybe let's say go to this server. This is something I can use. So I do copy boot flash scripts and then analytics.py and then scp. Okay, go to the server. Okay, this is my file. Let's open it and let's do the change. You know what I want to change? So this is our script, right? So customers get hold of it. We have the source code available. It takes me like a minute or so. And what I want to change here, a very simple change, just for the sake of example, is that if I run that command again, ShowAnalytics top, it just shows me top 10 records. And by the way, by default, there's no way to change it. Right? You see the just top 10 records. So maybe I want to do more. So let's see how long it takes me to find it. The top count, wow, I see top count here. I mean, you don't even need to be Python coder for this, right? You figure it out. Where is top count defined, by the way? Just reusing it everywhere. Oh, so you know what? I'm going to take a guess. Change it to 20. Save the file. I also would like to name change the name of the file. So analytics.py, so that I don't confuse myself later, 6 months from now, and then say I top 20.py. And then I do SCP, move this file back to the switch. Where is my switch IP? .20 admin at is this the way? Okay, seems to work. It may not go to the script directory. So if I do boot flash, this is my thing. I should move it to the script directory, but we can do that later. I do Python boot flash. Okay, and let's try help. Hopefully it's not crashing. Oh, what happened? It crashed. Okay, no problem. See that? So, I mean, even if you mess up, no problem. The Python crash is not going to bring down the switch. I mean, don't do terribly wrong. And that's one of the things, right? Like, don't think that you can do anything with Python interpreter, but small little crashes like you saw me running into this, right? Don't worry about that. I didn't even know what happened there. Right, but actually the Python interpreter told me 2682. So let's go to 2682. I didn't even change anything here, or did I?
I think you have to use Python 3 there.
Oh, this is written in Python 3. Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is. Oh yeah, Python. Thank you. Yeah. So now that's another thing. Thanks for pointing that out, because I think starting 842, we have Python and Python 3. So if you do Python, you go to 278, and if you do Python 3, we go to 3 something. So we do Python 3, and then we run this command. Right. So okay, no crash this time, and then I do top. See that? How long did it take me? Right. So guys, when we say our solution is programmable, can you say that with confidence now in front of the customers? Yes, I've seen somebody doing it like maybe 10 minutes. You can do it too. If you know how to code, like the kind of change that I did, you don't even need to be knowing Python. Just like I made like a variable change, look for that, like take a guess, you know. On that point, so what I've done a couple of weeks back, I wrote a training document on it, right? It's available somewhere internally. And then when you go on GitHub, there is Cisco SAN. Not okay, I'm sharing it now. Yeah. So here, there's a lot of cool stuff. You should like at least spend some time here, right? There's this show interface tabular thing that Ed wrote. Okay, this is what I was saying, that I have in a very specific step-by-step format. I have these examples here for somebody who never done it, who's somebody who doesn't know what is this about, what Python is about, right? And I have some examples here, like how do you start step-by-step, like, and there are some challenges here, right? Like, for example, the very basic example is change your output from this to this. A very simple text one-liner change. So how do you do it, right? And then you can click on the history, and then you can click on, this is the standard way GitHub works. Like you can see that what are the changes, right? So, I mean, for somebody who's starting a really basic level for the very first time, it's a step-by-step guide for people to follow, right? So send this to the customers, and, you know, in fact, the same customer that Ed pointed out, he actually opened some issues here on GitHub, right? You see that, right? Like it's opened by this guy. I don't know who is he. And he said that, give me a count option with top, right? He said that, why should I be sticking to 10? I should be able to know how many. And we said, all right. So I added some code for it, and, you know, gave the code to him, and now the output is right here. And trust me, like it took me get started. Like I couldn't find time for him for a couple of weeks. And then when I started, it took me like, you know, 4 or 5 issues. It took me like a couple of hours. That's it. right? So the point is this, guys, when we say our solution is programmable, it's not just a marketing pitch. It's not just some marketing point that we want to put on the slides. I want you guys to feel confident, and when customers ask, we show them examples and we stand by it. That's the idea here. Okay, so that's about the ShowAnalytics command. If you like, there are some examples, links of the whole workflow here. Okay, a couple of points I want to mention that, even though you saw my script crashing, small little crashes are okay. Don't get crazy with it. That doesn't mean you should be running some large mathematical computations with it, right? There are some, I've already talked about these points that I just want to be, cautioning you that don't run, don't try to correlate those tens of thousands of ITL flows and do something else. All these calculations are best to be done on your remote Linux machines, right, with a lot of compute power. The switch function, I mean, we want to provide this functionality, but we don't want to make it as a primary hosting platform and, script running platforms all the time. Okay, and by the way, that Python 3 point is right here. I'm glad whosoever said it. Thank you. Okay, some best practices, like when you copy the scripts back from the server to the switch, make sure you do it in both the supervisors. Sometimes ISSU happens and they're like, oh, what happened? Where is my script? Okay, I didn't do it in the demo, but that's one of the things that I can recommend. Also maintain a remote repository of the scripts, because what happens if your switch is RMA, right? The switch went down, boom, and like, oh, I can't power on the switch anymore, so all the scripts are gone. So maintain a central repo wherever you want. We recommend GitHub, but yeah, it's customer's decision. People can also schedule these things with the NXOS scheduler, right? Small little tricks, so that automates everything. Yes, and by the way, just to be clear, anytime a customer changes the script, it goes out of support. We don't support it. We only support what we ship. However, customers are welcome to reach out on GitHub and ask for some help. However, there's no SLA there. Just because I'm saying that this change can be done within hours, that doesn't mean we are going to do it. Okay, I've met customers who are saying that, Paresh, you told me you're going to do it. I was like, I never did. I'll do it. Right, so there's a difference. And also, anytime there's an enhancement request coming in, just by raising on GitHub, there's no SLA with it. You still should be, I mean, for our customers, they should be reaching out to our account teams. Account team should be reaching out to product management and the usual business runs like that. A GitHub request is no official request to Cisco. There's no SLA there, just to set the expectations right.